Welcome back to Ohio Means Business. Companies are always looking for that competitive edge, especially as they navigate through today's tough economic climate. Strong leadership is also important. So what skills and practices are necessary as we enter the new year? Joining us now with the bottom line is Mike Figliuolo, founder of thoughtLEADERS, a Central Ohio-based leadership consulting firm. He also is the author of this book right here in front of me, and that book there, One Piece of Paper, The Simple Approach to Powerful Personal Leadership. Mike, thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here.
We do appreciate it. We'll talk about one piece of paper in a second, which is more than one piece of paper, I noticed. But thoughtLEADERS.
Yeah.
What is it? What do you hope to accomplish?
We're a leadership development training firm working mostly with large corporates, and we work with them on issues of communications, leadership, strategy, decision making, and just giving them the core skills that they as leaders need to execute their job every day.
All right. Well, congratulations on being an author.
Thank you.
After this show, it'll be #1, I'm sure, on the New York Times list. One piece of paper. What does that mean?
So I've seen so many leadership philosophies when leaders articulate who they are and who they want to be, and they end up being these long diatribes that are full of buzzwords and don't mean anything. So the book is designed to help leaders articulate who they are and what their leadership philosophy is on one piece of paper, and do so in a way that's emotionally resonant, that actually has meaning and can be applied on a daily basis.
Back to teaching people to be a leader. In your opinion, is it something that is teachable, or is it simply an innate thing that people are kind of born with? We've seen these types of people as well.
Yeah. For the sake of my business, it's all teachable. No, I think it's a combination of both. It's innate as well as teachable.
You can teach anybody, right?
You can teach anybody. Yeah. It's really about, do you have the fire in your belly to go do it? And I think that's the innate part. Do you gravitate toward those types of roles? In terms of your capability of doing it, there are skills that you need to learn. You need to learn how to communicate, how to think strategically, how to make decisions quickly and effectively. So that combination is what I think sets people apart.
One of your main objectives is being a practitioner, the importance of being a practitioner. Explain that.
Sure. As a leadership training firm, a lot of training firms that I've worked with in the past are folks who are either academicians or career trainers, and that's not to disparage them, that's just their backgrounds. What sets us apart is we're practitioners of what we teach. So everything that we teach in the classroom, we do on a daily basis. And we're able to bring those real world stories into the classroom to help bridge the frameworks and concepts. And we also have a better understanding, I've found, and this is feedback from clients, of the issues that the participants in the classroom are facing, and can relate to those issues and then help them bridge that back to the training. So it makes it the training things that they can actually walk away from the classroom and actually do.
At thoughtLEADERS, you go to them, right? You'll often
Yes.
travel, not just in the U.S., but all over the world. So do you find it better going to them and teaching them on their turf?
Yeah, well, it eliminates costs for the client just from in a sensitive economic environment, right? Travel costs a lot of money to ship 30 people to a location. But we get better participation, and it's just easier for them. Plus, it gives us an ability to get steeped in their culture when we're at their organization. And sometimes I've even had clients ask myself and my instructors, do you guys work here? Because you know all our terminology. And it's like, yeah, we should. We have to understand your business in order to teach your people.
People often think of the CEO, the owner, or the president as the leader. You're teaching everybody a leadership role, though, aren't you? It's not just the guy or the lady at the top.
That's right. And everybody from formal to informal leaders can benefit from the things we teach. And different offerings are obviously targeted at different levels within the organization.
Okay, so having said that, the traits of a good leader, you've worked with a lot of different companies. What are the traits in your mind of a good leader?
Sure. One is everybody wants to be authentic. Well, what does that actually mean? It means being who you are. It's really simple. We want to put on a front and say these buzzwords, and they don't mean anything, and it's insecurity at its best. The most powerful leaders that I see are the ones who are just who they are at work, at home, with their friends. It's the same person, and they live that life. So that's the authenticity piece. The second is they listen. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Translation, shut up and listen.
Right.
And you can learn a lot from your people and from the organization when you do. And the third thing that really sets them apart is that ability to make decisions. It really comes down to making those tough calls. That's why leaders get paid the big bucks. And being able to make those difficult calls in difficult situations.
By the way, there's an A-list, really, on the back of your book here of people that have endorsed your book. Mike Krzyzewski, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. You know, U.S. Army retired generals are in there, and the list goes on and on. I like the line you said, shut up and listen. So a good leader can be the quiet person, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, styles range across the board, and there are the ones who are very at the front and the ones who lead from the back very quietly. That's one of the premises of the book is we're not telling leaders how to behave, we're telling leaders how to articulate who they actually are. And everybody has different styles. You look different than me, you should lead differently than me. And that's what's really setting the book apart in terms of the feedback we're getting is, wait, it's okay to be me. And it's actually a good thing to be you.
I was going to ask you about your leadership philosophy, but based on what you just said, you kind of cater it or customize it to the client you're working with.
Yeah, so in terms of the philosophies that other people have as opposed to mine tends to be fairly direct, a little bit irreverent, and focused on making things happen. Other people tend to be more cerebral leaders and more thoughtful leaders in terms of their approach. And again, the book is getting at both of those are okay, and it just depends on the situation. Now, from a cultural standpoint, I fit well at some organizations. I don't fit well at others. And conversely, those quiet leaders fit well. And understanding where you fit and where you don't is a big part of just actually being happy and enjoying the work you're doing.
What about your success rate? Do you oftentimes feel like it is a great challenge to go in, and I don't know if you're trying to change somebody per se, but you're trying to just open their eyes to a new way of doing things? How does it go over, in other words?
It goes over very well. People always ask, do you do these long-term metrics on the impact of your courses? And I said, look, there's one metric. Do we get invited back?
Right.
And when clients invite us back, we become parts of their corporate universities and parts of emerging leader programs. They're seeing the value and they're seeing the impact in their people's behavioral changes.
Final thoughts. The new year is always filled with resolutions. For the leadership people out there, how should they approach the new year?
I think the biggest thing is focus and being able to say no. I just said no to an opportunity yesterday that was really hard to do. But if you're not focusing and you're letting yourself get diluted as a leader, you're going to minimize the impact you have. Your teams are going to be running all over. So I'd ask leaders this year to focus, figure out what's important, and then say no to those distractions.
All right, Mike Figliuolo, one piece of paper, the simple approach to powerful personal leadership. Mike, best of luck with everything.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for joining us, and thank you for joining us for Ohio Means Business. Check us out on the web. Just visit onntv.com and click on the Ohio Means Business link. You can also follow me on Twitter at Kallmeyer, ONN. I'll see you next time on Ohio Means Business.